All right, everybody, the time is 7 p.m. on February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, or what I like to call it, Happy Overpriced Chocolates Day. On this Valentine's Day, we have a winter storm to talk about that is coming our way Thursday and potentially into Thursday night into Friday. It's going to have quite a few impacts, it looks like. It looks like it's going to be pretty impactful, especially if you live in southern lower Michigan, maybe even parts of northern Indiana, northern Ohio. Looks like you're going to see some snow and potentially even some ice, especially if you're on the Michigan, Indiana, Ohio line. There's going to be quite a bit to deal with in regards to weather. So we're going to take a look at that. First off, reminder, all of the platforms you can subscribe to us on: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter. If you're watching on desktop, scan that QR code. That'll get you hooked into all of the different websites that we possibly have on here. So feel free to take a look at that. All right, let's begin with today's weather update. All right, so this is the current map. This is for Friday. This is the day for, I should probably show the one before that. This storm is expected to hit Thursday into Friday, okay? So beginning on Friday, or more like around Thursday evening, or Thursday afternoon, we're going to start to see a lot more in terms of snow. This is the potential for snow greater than 1 inch as of right now. Right now, it's about an 80 to 90% if you live in southern lower Michigan along the line from Benton Harbor up to about Flint and northeastward. So you're going to see quite a bit of snow. Let's go to greater than 4 inches because that's more of the impactful type of snow. 70 to 80% chance along that same line. So current forecast models project that this could be quite an impactful storm, even greater than 6 inches in parts of Grand Rapids, Lansing, parts of South Haven, Allegan County, those places northeastward. As you go farther down south, not really much of that in terms of that type of snowfall. So Thursday morning, we see the transitions begin to snow, and it's going to get heavy throughout the entire day on Thursday and last into Thursday night, maybe even into a little bit on Friday. There's still a lot to figure out in regards to the models, so we're not fully certain on what is going to occur in regards to this winter storm, but we do know it is going to hit the Great Lakes region, and there's going to be some impacts as a result. Okay, so that is the first model. This one here is the day 4. Again, kind of a similar scenario. This shows the probability for snow and sleet greater than a comparison of 0.25 inches of rainfall. So 0.25 inches of rainfall would be comparable to 2.5 inches of snow. So this is the projection for the potential for more than 2.5 inches of snow. And again, you can kind of see that Michigan, Indiana, Ohio line really in that zone for the potential for some snow accumulations that could potentially have some travel impacts. Now we're going to take a look at the models that show us what exactly might occur. Now, the two models that I'm really paying attention to have some differences, and the National Weather Service is picking up on it too. There's differences from where the snow is going to wind up, if it's going to wind up farther north or if it's going to wind up farther south. If it winds up farther north, places such as Grand Rapids, Lansing, those areas in central lower Michigan are going to see the most snow. If it winds up south, we're going to see more snow along areas such as St. Joseph, Kalamazoo. Those places could see more snow. Now, we're not entirely sure. If it goes on the north side, it's likely going to be more of an ice storm scenario for the Michigan, Indiana, Ohio line. If we're on the north side of the storm itself, then the areas farther south are going to see snow, and the places farther north won't see as much snow as a result. So, GFS model. This is the nationwide. This is Tuesday. This is the time right now that we're looking at. Let's progress this a little bit forward. Pretty quiet over the next couple of days as this low pressure system begins to set up, and you kind of see this 546 line, this ridge starting to build. This is the warm air mass. It's going to send our temperatures soaring up into the 50s potentially by Wednesday. Not into the 50s, but unless you live in southern Indiana, southern Ohio, maybe in the 50s. Parts where that winter storm's going to hit, mid to upper 40s, maybe close to 50. But you've got that freezing line, the 540 line, the line we pay attention to for snow, lifting up quite a bit farther north. A welcome relief because we have not had much warm air over the past several days. So ridge begins to build in, and then along that ridge where that cold and that trough and that ridge meet is where you see the development of that rain, the rain that's going to begin our storm. This is Wednesday at 1 p.m., the rain beginning to develop along northern Michigan, over up by Traverse City, Boyne Falls, areas around that region. And you see it start to develop, and then as it develops, that front begins to really show itself. It's going to start to head a little more southward as the 540 line begins to dip. As I always say in these videos, the 540 line, this blue line, that's the first one next to the red one, that's the best indicator of where rain and snow will transition. So that's what we keep an eye on in regards to this system. So this is, and I know it says Thursday at 0Z. We go 5 hours back on this clock right here. So it's 7 p.m. Wednesday night. Wednesday night, you got that rain building in, and it's starting to really pick up in intensity. We could even see some heavy rain, maybe even a little bit of thunder in parts of these areas, especially if you live in southern Indiana. You could possibly see some severe thunderstorms later on as the storm progresses through. You've got the severe thunderstorms developing in Oklahoma, Texas, places that begin to typically see these types of storms around this time of year. And then you see that heavy band of snow that's going to start to slowly progress southward. And by Thursday at about 10 a.m., pretty much the entire state of Michigan is going to be seeing either snow, sleet, freezing rain, or, yeah, all of the general winter mess that you know and love. So that's going to continue to just sit over the area, and then you have that nice, well-developed cold front that's going to produce severe weather in the south. So southern Indiana, southern Ohio, this is going to be more of a rain event for you, with thunderstorms most likely. Not really much in terms of severe weather for you. That's going to stay more off to the south. If we get a sounding from the southern Indiana area, it indicates no severe hazards, but it does see the potential for some supercells. So not really going to produce much severe weather in regards to this scenario. So, but the snow was the real big talk for the Great Lakes region. So let's progress it, and it begins to finally move out with some potential for a little bit of lake effect behind that as that trough dips down, that 540 line much deeper down to the south, even in parts of Texas. And that is what is going to be impacting our weather on Wednesday. Let's get a closer look with a more close-up view of this storm as it progresses. So let's get that going again. Same model, GFS model we like to use. So you have the northeastward track of the low pressure system right here. It's pretty deep. It's a deeper low pressure system, not super deep, but you see that rain begin to transition to a wintry mix and snow by 10 a.m. Thursday morning. Then it gets really heavy, a really heavy wintry mix and snow by Thursday afternoon. This is the more northward track that the GFS is suggesting. So the northward track with the snow farther up to the north, the freezing rain in the southern part of Michigan right here, and then the wintry mix in northern Indiana, northern Ohio. And we're going to compare that to the other model, which is kind of showing a more southward track, where snow would really be more on the south side, which is why we're pretty certain that this area right here is going to see the biggest impacts from the system, because both models are saying precipitation will occur here. The question is, what kind of precipitation and how much? So we don't really know that for certain just yet. So that's going to clear out, once again, early Friday morning, it'll be gone. And we'll just be digging out from the heavy snow that we face from the system. All right, so let's take a look at the ECMWF model. We looked at the GFS that provides that southward trend. My computer just froze. There we go. The southward trend. So that's the heavy ice storm in the south and the snow in the north. That's one model. This is the ECMWF model. It really does a good job of projecting how much snow we'll see in certain areas. But it gives a more southward model idea. Oh, this is way ahead of time. We need to go back. All right, this is more accurate. We're into Wednesday. You see it develop of that cold front, or that ridge right there. That's going to be pushed by that low pressure system heading south. You see the transition to snow. It projects the transition to ice and snow earlier. So by 10 a.m., you have southern Michigan that's going to be seeing quite a bit of snow from this system. And you can see that more southward trend. There's not even going to be snow up in the northern parts of lower Michigan. based on this model. In fact, it goes a little bit deeper in northern Indiana as well. So that's going to be moving through. Again, projects out by Wednesday morning, same as the other model, but it does say that this can be a more southward event. What do the two models say about snow totals? Well, let's take a look. ECMWF model, the one we just looked at, that projects the more southward trend, projects areas such as northern Indiana, southern Michigan, Detroit region, could see 6 to 8 inches of snow. And then as you go farther north, the models project they go down. So up to 2 inches in parts of Grand Rapids, Flint, those areas, and then 6 to 8 inches on the northern side. So that's what that model's putting out. And then what does this model say? The GFS model, the one that shows the more northern trek, putting out a lot more snow, probably a much more significant snowfall total. Not even much snow for the southern area. They're expecting that this will be more of a freezing rain event in the southern parts of Michigan and Indiana, in northern Indiana. So that's why the snowfall totals are a lot less. But up in parts of Grand Rapids, you see parts of 18 to 15 inches. I think that these models will start to coincide and come together as to exactly where the snow will fall. But I think it's going to take more of a southward trend. That's just my opinion. You would check the National Weather Service for an official opinion. But I think it's going to be more on the southward side where we see more snowfall totals in southern Michigan and northern Indiana here. And the more ice event stays in central Indiana in that region. But again, we'll see what happens. These models just give us a rough idea of what might take place. I don't think snowfall totals of 16 inches are going to be a real issue. I think it's going to be less than that. I think this model provides a much more accurate depiction of what we could expect. GFS again putting out that freezing rain. This is the northward model again. So if it takes a northward track, puts out freezing rain totals of pretty heavy amounts. I don't know if this would be, well, it says half an inch of freezing rain. That's a lot of ice. I don't think it'll get that high. That's pretty significant. That would trigger an ice storm warning in parts of southern Michigan. But all these models putting together indicate just be prepared for travel impacts Thursday afternoon into Friday. It's likely going to be occurring on Thursday and Friday. So winter storm on the horizon. I'll keep you posted on any updates that take place. Just make sure to stay connected on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those different platforms. I'll try to keep updates coming through when they become available. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. On the backside of the system, it's going to get pretty cold, single digits after the storm on Thursday night, which means it's going to take a lot longer because the ice will not melt as quickly with treated roads. So that's going to be an issue when we get to that hard freeze after the rain moves through. The hard freeze is going to be a big issue because after the rain falls, we get that cold front moving through, quick drop in temperatures, freeze of rain on the roads, followed by more freezing rain on top of that, then snow. So there's going to be quite a lot to consider, all the variables that will lead to potential for travel impacts. I would just say Thursday afternoon, not a good travel time. Don't travel Thursday afternoon if possible if you live in any of these areas that have the potential for a winter storm. All right, that's all I wanted to show you. If you want to see official updates, you go to the National Weather Service. Again, Weather Prediction Center has all those updates for you. But stay tuned, and I'll provide more updates as they become available. And hopefully, you can enjoy the rest of your evening as you intend on seeing this winter storm come soon. Good night.